Hi there and welcome to our second intermediate class of the program. Joining me today is Nadine and we have Hannah. Hannah's going to be showing some of the modifications so you can watch her if you need some modifications. My name is Sue. If you need to take a break at any point, feel free to take a break. You're in control of the session. I would recommend having a water bottle and a hand towel close by though, just in case you need that. Okay, so we're going to be starting today's session on all fours. So you can already come down onto your mat, onto your hands and knees. Setting up with our hands under our shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. We're going to flatten out through the ankles and the shins. I want you to try and press down through the shins, spread the weight out through the palms of your hands, and then just let your spine lengthen into a neutral position. Let's take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, tuck the tail in. Let's round into our cat stretch. As you tuck the tail in, draw your tummy muscles up and push down through your shins and your hands so everything is actively pushing the floor away. Then let's lengthen back out just to neutral. So we're not overarching the back just yet. You're just finding your neutral spine with a nice broad collarbone. Inhale. Exhale, let's go again. Tuck tails in. Round the spine up to the ceiling. Drawing in and up through your tummy muscles, just letting your neck flow with your spine. And let's lengthen everything back out to neutral as you inhale. And one more time. Tuck tails in. Can you round that spine a little bit more? Can you draw in and up through your abdominal muscles a little bit more? Warm them up. Before lengthening everything out again, back into your neutral shape to your spine. And we're going to drop down to lie on our tummies. So you're going to slide the legs back. Legs still about hip width apart with the tops of the feet and thighs touching the floor. Lengthen your arms back behind you into a low V position, palms facing down, and then hover your nose just up off the mat. So I'm looking down at the mat, everything is lengthened. I know it's early in the session to be doing back extension, so we're just going to keep it gentle. We're just using it as a little warm up for the back. Draw your tummy muscles in and up. As you do that, you want to feel the pressure of your pelvis tilting down into your mat. Opening up your chest, let your shoulders feel light. And then as we inhale, we're going to lengthen the spine so much so that your head, chest and arms start to hover up off the mat. But I'm still looking down at my mat. Exhale as you come back down, nose to mat, hands touching the floor. Breathe in, lengthen and float up off the mat, keeping collarbones broad. Exhale, let's come back down. We're going for 3 more. Just be mindful that you don't feel this going into your lower back, just the upper back rises. Exhale to come back down. 2 more, using that inhale breath to make you feel light like a balloon. Exhale down, keep the arms nice and straight. Last one, breathing in, let's float up and let's pause here. Head, chest and arms are floating. Straighten the elbows, open up through the chest and then give me little pulses with your arms going up to the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, keep breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring everything back down towards our mats. Well done. Slide the hands in under the shoulders so that we can press up. We're going to go straight back into your rest position. You can open out the knees, give your back a nice stretch as you press your sitting bones back. Arms out in front, just find a comfortable position for your head. Take 2 deep breaths here, expanding through your rib cage. Keeping the length through the spine. Before curling back up onto your hands and knees. Coming up again, hands under shoulders, knees under the hips. So from here in our 4-point kneeling, we're now going to lean the weight into your left arm. So make your left arm feel nice and strong. Just double check you're not hyperextending your elbow, soften the elbow slightly so that your right arm is light enough for us to lift it, fingertips to the forehead, palm facing down towards the floor. So your elbow sticking out to the side like a little ear, a little elephant ear. Then we're going to keep pushing through the left arm. You're going to lift your elephant ear to the ceiling. We're going to rotate towards the right. So you're going to look towards the right side of your room. Then come back to the center and roll the other way. So I'm going to bring my chest in towards my left bicep and let my ear dip towards the floor. Good. 2 more. Push through the left arm. Inhale, rotate as much as you can comfortably rotate. And then come back and roll the chest to the bicep, internally rotating your shoulder. One more time, breathing in, push through the left arm. And exhale, roll it in, chest to bicep. Before coming back to your neutral spine, looking straight down to the floor, let's switch our hands. Right hand plants under the shoulder. Bring the left fingertips to your forehead. So now your ear is on the left-hand side of your body. Push into that right arm. Let's rotate to the left, lifting the elbow to the ceiling. Rolling and bringing chest to bicep. Let your elbow dip towards your mat. Doesn't have to touch the mat, it's just aiming for the mat. And let's lift. 2 more. Breathing and rotate. Say hi to the left side of the room. And then rotate to say hi to the right side of your room. Last one. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, rolling it back in towards your bicep. Then we'll come back to center. Place that left hand down. So we've got both hands on the mat now. Tuck your toes in. Try to get all of your toes to tuck. Try to get the baby toe to get in there if it can as well, so that your toes get a good stretch. Draw your tummy muscles in, and then think about a slight tuck of your tailbone so that your lower back is supported from your tummy muscles. And we're going to hold this exact position. Imagine you had a tray of champagne glasses resting on your back. Float your knees just off the mat. Well, no champagne, it's locked down. Orange juice. Okay, knees hover off the mat. We're holding it here for 10, 9, keep breathing, 8, 7, keep the spine lengthened. The champagne hasn't spilt. We're dreaming about the champagne. And 5, 4, pushing down into the mat. 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knees gently down towards the floor. Let's sweep those feet out to the side, so that we can come to lie down on our backs. So we're going to flip around, and we're going to be lying down, just setting up in your neutral spine. We're getting ready for pelvic curls, so you want feet and knees hip width apart, not too far away from you, but also not tucked right up underneath your knees. Arms lengthen down beside the body, palms facing down. Broaden through the chest. Press down slightly into the back of your arms so that you can feel your shoulders trying to press backwards into the mat. And if you tuck the chin in like you're giving yourself a little double chin, feel that length running through the back of your neck. Let's inhale here. On the exhale, we'll close the space under the lower back by tucking your tailbone. Then lift your tailbone, slowly peel the pelvis, and then the lower back, and then the mid back, all peeling up to find your bridge position. Once you're at the top, keep the pressure into the arms, grip your feet into the mat, and imagine you're trying to pull your feet in towards your body. Hamstrings engaged, feel the length running over your hips towards your knees, and then stabilize there. Keep it as it is, let your arms start to become light. Float your arms up to the ceiling. Palms facing towards the knees. If you have any kind of shoulder injuries, let your elbows bend out to the side and your fingertips touch in a little diamond shape. Otherwise, we're going to keep the arms completely straight. Inhale. As you roll down through the spine, stretch your arms, whether they're straight or diamond, stretch them back towards the floor behind you, so that by the time your pelvis lands, your hands are resting on the floor behind you. Coming back to neutral, we're going to reverse. Inhale. Exhale, tuck tailbones. Let your arms become light. As we roll up, we're going to float the arms up towards the ceiling. Bring those hips into bridge. Press the arms down onto the mat on either side of your body. Activate through the back of the arms. Let your arms become light again. Inhale. As we roll down, the arms are going to lift and reach back. So everything's moving together, synchronized as you melt your spine down and stretch backwards through your shoulders. Let's go for 2 more. Inhale at the bottom. Tuck the tail in. Let the arms become light. As you peel up through the spine, the arms are going to travel to the ceiling and then press down onto the mat. Hold it for a breath. Inhale. Exhale, arms become light again. Let's roll down through the spine, stretching the arms all the way back behind us. Enjoy that shoulder stretch. We're going to go one more time. We're going to stay up a little longer on the last one. Inhale and exhale. Tuck tails in. As we roll up, arms become light. We're going to peel up through the spine and bring the arms back down onto the floor on either side of your body. Press into the back of the arms, broaden the chest. Hold it here. Keep your hips exactly where they are. Send all of the weight into your left leg. Squeeze your left bum cheek. Try not to let your right hip dip, but float your right leg off the mat into tabletop with a pointed ankle. And we're going to do little toe taps from that hip. Tap the toe to the mat and lift. Going for 4. Lift and 3. Lift. Last 2. Keep breathing. Last 1. Now keep your right leg in the air, breathing. Exhale, melts back down through your spine with your right leg staying in tabletop. So still a nice straight line down, but just one leg during all the work. Land your pelvis back to neutral. Find your center and place your foot back on the mat. If you need to do a little adjustment, a little shuffle, go ahead. If the hamstrings are cramping, give them a stretch. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the tails in. We've got one more leg. Let's roll it up back into your bridge position. Once you've got the height of your hips, check your neck is comfortable. Send the weight into your right leg. Squeeze that bum cheek. Float your left leg to tabletop pointed ankle. And we're going to tap for 5 and lift and 4. Exhale, lift. Last 3. Last 2. Last one. It's nice and dynamic. Let's keep that leg lifted. Breathe in. Exhale, roll down. Try to travel down the center of your spine even though you have one leg in the air. All the way. Land your pelvis, place your foot down onto the mat. Nice, good job. So we'll leave the legs here, let the legs feel relaxed, let the pelvis feel relaxed. Float the arms up towards the ceiling again. Palms facing your knees, breathe in. Exhale, start to curl your head and your shoulders up off the mat. Reaching the arms forward so as if they're reaching for your feet. Then hands hold onto the outside of your thighs and let your arms help you to lift a little higher. Can you come up off your shoulder blades? And then can you hold yourself there? So speak to your tummy muscles to keep you there as you release. Interlace your fingers, glide them in behind the back of your head without losing any height in your chest lift. Now keep the pelvis still, your hands are there to support your neck. We're going to rotate the upper body towards the right. So you're going to lift your left shoulder blade even higher to tilt towards the right hand side of your shoulder blade. Come back through center as you inhale and tilt towards the left, lifting the right shoulder blade. Good, and center. Focus on keeping those legs and hips still, so that's all lower abdominal control. You're keeping that height, so if you were off your shoulder blades, try to stay off your shoulder blades. And center, let's go for 2 more each way. Tip towards the right. And center, make sure you're not pulling with your arms, they're just there to give you some support for your neck. And center, 1 more time each way. Swivel the rib cage one direction and center. Swivel towards the left to finish. Come back to the center, reach the arms out in front of you, breathe in. Exhale, lengthen all the way back down, head resting on the mat. You can stretch the arms back behind you as far as feels comfortable. We're going to do that one more time. Okay, arms lift, breathe in. Follow the arms, curl your head and your shoulders up. Grab onto the outside of your thighs. Use the arms to give you an extra millimeter. There's always a little bit more. And then try and hold yourself there as we interlace. Slide the hands in to support the neck. Try keep this height. Let's rotate towards the right. Tip towards that shoulder blade, but try not to rest on it. And then come back to center. Tip towards the left, looking just past your left thigh. Coming through center, looking just past the right thigh. Remember to keep your pelvis nice and still, like it's been super glued into your mat. Center, we've got 2 more each way. We should definitely start to feel the obliques warming up. Keep the height of the chest. We got 1 more each way. Rotate. Come through center. Rotate to the left to finish. Come back to center. Release your arms. Breathe in. Exhale. Let's lengthen our spines back out into the mat. Unravel everything. Stretch the arms back behind you. And then we'll be leaving the head down now. If you'd like to have a little towel or some support behind the back of your head to make it more comfortable for your neck, you can go ahead and place that. Just try not to have your head too elevated, just a comfortable elevation. Arms coming up towards the ceiling again. We're going to turn the palms to face in towards each other. Broaden your shoulder blades down into your mat, and then just visualize the curves of your neutral spine and try and hold them in place with that corset of abdominals wrapping around your spine before bringing one leg to tabletop. Stabilize, bring the other leg up to join. Squeeze your legs together in your tabletop position. Open your arms out into your T position, so straight line from one hand to the other, pressing into the back of the arms. Keep your legs super glued together. You can keep the knees bent at tabletop and watch Hannah for that modification, or you can level up and you can get those knees to straighten out, toes reaching up for the ceiling for your spine twist. Inhale, tilt the pelvis to the right. We twist as far as you can that your left shoulder blade doesn't move off the mat. And then come back to center. And let's twist towards the left. And exhale, center, more obliques, I'm sorry. Inhale, let's go over to the right, like little windscreen wipers, and center. And over to the left with those windscreen wipers. And center, one more time. If maybe you started with the straight legs and things start to cramp, you could drop to the bent knee variation, but try stay with us the whole time. Come back to center and pause. We're gonna add corkscrew onto this. So keep those shoulders broad, choose the straight or the bent knee variation. Start with a spine twist towards the right. So let's tilt the pelvis to the right, lift the left hip off the mat. As you corkscrew, there's gonna be a slight arch to your back. So we're gonna open the angle of our hips, drop the legs about halfway down, circle around the tailbone. That slight arch of the spine is there, then pick it up on the left-hand side. So your right hip is lifted, come back to center. Same direction, let's go to the right. Inhale, drop down, circle around the tailbone, center. Give me 2 more to the right. Inhale, to the right, drop down. There's a slight feeling of momentum, a little sweep as you bring the legs to the other side. Last time, to the right. Keep pressing into the back of the arms. Stay with me, bring it center. We've got to do it to the left so we're even. Inhale, tilt to the left, drop down, circle around your tailbone, draw it up and center to the left, drop down. The lower your legs go, the harder this is gonna be. So you pick how low you wanna go. You got 2 more. And circle around, keep those shoulders pressing into the mat. 1 more time. Drop down, circle all the way around. Center, bend your knees back to tabletop. If you had them straight, separate your legs to hip width apart. Bring your arms back up towards the ceiling as you inhale. Exhale, curl the head and the shoulders up, grab the back of your thighs, just so that you can feel nice and secure in your chest lift position. Nearly done with abs, ladies, I'm sorry, but you're gonna hold yourself here. Release your hands, interlace, slide them in behind the back of your head, and we're gonna keep a chest lift. So I want you to feel your lower back is lightly touching onto the mat. Keep that connection, hinge your right hip, tap your toe on the mat, and then we switch. And we're gonna go right and left and right. Left, good, keep the height of your chest, and we go for 6 more, and 5, and 4, don't laugh at me, I'm being serious, 3, last 2, last 1, each leg, both legs table, hands to the knees, and rock all the way up to sitting. And now we are done with the abs. Let's do a quick butterfly stretch for those hips. So soles of feet together, open out the knees, and then think about hinging forward over your legs from your hips. If your elbows are quite close to your knees, you can use them just to nudge the knees out to the side of the room. Find a comfortable stretch for your body and hold for 2 breaths. 1 more deep breath here. Let your hips know that you love them. And then let's release. We're gonna come up to sit, and we're gonna go into forward spine stretch position. So you can open your legs out to about mat width apart. If you struggle to sit upright, grab a little seat, such as a yoga block, as Hannah will demonstrate. You can also use a cushion or even just a towel if you just need that little bit of lift. And then we're gonna sit nice and tall through the spines. You can bend the knees slightly if you need to, if your hamstrings are getting in the way. Turn your toes up towards the ceiling and bring the arms out in front. Palms facing each other. Imagine a little string on the top of your head that is trying to pull you up towards the ceiling. So there's a feeling of lightness. You're trying to create space between the vertebrae of your spine. Keep it like that. Bring your arms up as high as you can. So ideally in line with the ears, but everybody's shoulders are going to be different. Once you've reached your maximum, we're going to do little pulses in the shoulders, trying to go slightly further back for 10, 9, 8. If you feel any pinching in your shoulder, you can go a little further forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the arms forward as you inhale. Exhale, dive the spine forward. So we're going to round the spine forward and then reach the top of the head towards the wall on the other side of the room. Try to keep your arms relaxed while you're here. Inhale. And then roll back up. Draw the navel to the spine. Restack yourself over your pelvis. That feeling of lightness coming back into place. Lift the arms as high as you can get them to go without your shoulders lifting into your ears. Imagine you're wearing really big earrings. You need lots of space. Little pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms come forward. Inhale. Exhale, dive the spines forward as far as you can go, reaching to the other side of the room. We're going to add a little back extension onto your forward spine stretch. So just to set it up, Say place your fingertips down on your mat, wherever you can comfortably reach. Now think about trying to keep the lean forward. So if there's a wall just behind your bum, we're not going to press against the wall, but we are just going to lift the head and the chest to try and flatten out your upper back. Your hands will slide towards you as you do that until you feel like your upper back is nicely extended. It's quite useful to have a mirror for this one so you can kind of see where you are. Thinking about focusing on lengthening through the upper back, drawing the shoulder blades down, getting a nice open chest position, but at the same time trying to hinge as far forward as your body will allow. Like I said, you're welcome to bend your knees if you're just feeling your hamstrings getting in the way. Now let's hold that position and release the arms out in front of your chest. Can you keep everything lengthened, but lift your arms, try to get them in line with your ears. Draw your shoulder blades down. You should already start to feel your upper back muscles engaging, and we're going to do little pulses with the arms, trying to go further back for 10, just the arms moving. 9, 8, 7, keep lengthening. For 5, 4, 3, you want to feel it just between those shoulder blades. Last 1, arms forward, round your spine forward for the stretch. Let your hands touch the floor, just in a nice comfortable rounded position, because we are going to do that one more time. Okay, last one, I promise. So fingertips can stay on the mat just as you set yourself up, so your hands will glide towards you as you try and flatten out your upper back. Think about your upper back flattening and your mid back. Sometimes we forget about this little section just underneath our shoulder blades, and then keep it there. Release the arms, lift them in line with the ears, draw the shoulders away from the ears, and let's pulse for 10, 9, keep breathing, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Can we lengthen a little more through the spine? Try to get your head to the top corner of the room before rounding all the way down and stretching out that back. Inhale, and then let's just roll all the way back up to a nice tall seated position. Well done. You can hop off your seat if you were seated on something, and then bring your legs together in front of you. We're going to go into some roll-ups, so make sure you've got enough space behind you on your mat for a roll-up. We're going to be doing it with a butterfly arm. Any shoulder injuries, though, you can just skip the butterfly arm and just do the roll-up with us. Okay, so we're starting arms in front of your chest, over your legs, sitting as tall as you can through your spine. Try keep your shoulders above your hips, but then round your spine as though someone was pressing a big invisible ball into your tummy, and we hold that position for our butterfly. So palms are going to face up towards the ceiling. You want your hands to slide right next to your body, so your elbows are going to have to bend for that to happen. Then reach them back behind you and dive them up over your ears, and dive for your toes as far forward as you can go. Breathe in. Exhale, we start to roll backwards. As you roll past your pelvis, let your shoulders relax. You're just looking at your toes, focusing on the abdominal connection, lengthening into your mat. Once your head is down, stretch your arms back towards the floor behind you. Just enjoy that stretch, and then lift the arms. Inhale, curl head and shoulders up. Use a leg if you need assistance, otherwise just peel straight up from there. Pause when your shoulders are over your hips. Butterfly your arms, bend the elbows, sweep them back. As much of a dive over your ears as possible. Reach for your toes. Inhale. Exhale, let's melt our way down. Relaxing the shoulders. You can take extra breaths if you need to. Make sure that you're breathing there at home. Don't hold your breath. Stretch the arms back to finish. Lift the arms. Breathe in, curl the head and the shoulders back up. And let's peel off of our mat from there. We got one more. Shoulders over the hips. Bend the elbows, sweep them all the way. Nice big dive forward. If you've ever swam butterfly in the pool, you know what I mean. Breathe in, exhale, and we roll back down. Draw your tummy muscles in, slowly lengthen yourself out into your mat, finishing by stretching your arms back behind you. And the good news is we're not coming up again from there. You can roll over onto your side. We're going to be side lying, resting on our bottom arm. So your head can rest on your bottom arm, legs out straight, just nice and comfy. You want to be kind of in the middle of your mat. I'm just running as one straight stripe, as though I had been standing upright and someone just flipped me over onto my side. Hips are stacked, abs are in. Try to reach your top leg slightly over your bottom leg so that you know you've got that length happening in your upper waist. You haven't collapsed into the upper waist. Top hand can be on the mat in front of you if you need it for balance. Otherwise, place it on your hip if you don't need it for balance. We're going to float our top leg up a little higher than hip height. It's a straight leg, both knees facing straight forward. That leg stays where it is, but your bottom leg is then drawn to it. So it's going to lift and it's going to try and touch your top leg. And then bottom leg down. And again, draw the bottom leg up. So I'm working that bottom inner thigh. And of course, these are obliques at the top. Work that top waist. We go for 8. And down. And exhale, 7. And down. Try to keep your head resting into your arm. Or you could use a little towel between your head and your arm to make it more comfortable. And down. We go for 5. Finding our balance. For 4. And down. Last 3. Down, exhale as you lift for 2. And then the last one, lift and hold. We're going to think about squeezing the legs together. Try to spin your heels in towards each other so that your heels can squeeze together. It doesn't matter if your toes are touching or not. We keep the legs together now and lower them down towards the mat. Just before they touch the mat, lift them back up together. Inhale down. Try to lift the legs now as high as you can. So it's a feeling of pulling your hip towards your rib cage and then lengthening to lower the legs back down. Exhale, lift, we go for 8. Same thing, you can have the hand on the mat if you need it for balance. For 7. And down. Feel that little squeeze in the top waist and down. And we go for 5. Try to keep your legs squeezing together. Keep the heels together. Your bottom inner thigh is still working. So almost imagine that bottom leg is trying to push into the top leg as you lift so that it stays engaged. For 3 and down. Last 2. And we've just got one more. Exhale, lift the legs as high as you can. Inhale, lower them all the way down towards the floor. Press yourself up, same side, but we're coming onto our elbow. Elbow directly underneath your shoulder. You're going to push down strongly through that arm to lift the arm, lift the armpit. Imagine a little cactus on the mat just under your armpit. You want to stay lifted off of it. Lift your top leg a little higher than hip height. Flex through that ankle. You can keep your hand lightly touching the mat. Let's hinge the leg forward and do 2 pulses forward. 1, 2. Point your ankle. Draw the leg back behind you. 2 pulses. 1, 2, flexing forward, trying to keep the whole upper body stable. So especially when the leg goes back, you're going to want to pull your tummy muscles in so you don't arch your lower back. And we go back. Good, and let's go for 5. Look how beautiful and synchronized everybody is. And 4, I hope you guys will synchronize with us at home. And 3, and back. Last 2, and back. Last 1, and back. And then bring it back in line with your body. You're going to want to lower it so it's just in line with your hip. Don't have it too high. Keep pushing away from your imaginary cactus. Bottom leg is now drawn to the top leg. And down. You want to feel it right in this top waist. Lift. And down. 6 more. Lift. And down. 5 more. And down. 4 more. And down. Last 3. Down, last 2, the last little bit for this oblique. 1 more time, left, down, lower both legs. Let's push our legs over to the other side. Okay. So coming to lie down on our other side, we're gonna go straight legs out, head resting on the bottom arm. As I mentioned before, you're welcome to put a towel or something to make it a little bit more comfortable for your neck. Your head should feel relaxed. Reach that top leg out over the bottom leg so that they feel and look like they're the same length. Draw the abdominal muscles in. You want to almost imagine you're pulling your rib cage slightly in from the front. If you had a wall behind you, you'd be pretty much in a neutral spine against that wall. And then we're going to lift our top leg up a little higher than hip height. We're going to hold it there, it doesn't move, and your bottom leg floats up to tap it and lowers back down again. Exhale to lift. Inhale down. Warming up that inner thigh. Let's go for 8. And down. And 7. If you don't need the hand for balance, you could pop it on your hip. Just take it out the way. Check your hips are staying still. Let's go for 5. Exhale, 4. Last 3. So obviously the higher you have your top leg, the harder this is gonna be. 2. On your last one, we hold, we keep the legs together. Try to spin the heels in towards each other. Feel your inner thighs are super glued together. Lower the legs back down till they almost touch the mat. And exhale to lift them as high as you can get them to go. Inhale on the way down. Press the bottom leg into the top leg as you lift, so you feel that inner thigh engaging. And let's go for 8. Exhale, inhale. Thinking about shortening your top waist, squeezing that waist as you lift, and lower. And lift for 6. And down, keep the head resting comfortably on the arm for 5. And down. Last 4. And down. And 3. If you do start to feel your back taking strain, take the legs a little further in front of your body. Make sure they're not drifting back. One more time, we lift the legs together and lower them all the way down to the floor to press up onto our elbow. Same side, elbow underneath your shoulder. And that cactus is now moved underneath the other armpit. Let's press and lift up through the rib cage. Legs are still out straight, top hand lightly touching the mat. Let's lift our top leg slightly higher than hip height. Flex through the ankle, the knee is nice and active and straight. Hinge the leg forward, 2 pulses. 1, 2, point, draw it back, 2 pulses. 1, 2, keeping the upper body as still as possible, and we take it back. Back, stay strong through the bottom arm, take it back. Back, let's go for 7, and back. For 6, and back. Last 5, try not to overuse the hand that you're using for balance. We're not leaning into it, it's just a little balance rudder. And last 3, I may have lost count, we might have done more than 10, sorry guys. 2 more, but you can never have too much glutes. And 1 more time. And back, bringing the leg in line with your body again. Still lifted off of our cactus, that leg is about hip height, don't have it too high because we want to lift the bottom leg up to touch it and lower it back down. And lift, lower, going for 8. Down, and 7, stay with me, don't give up. For 6, it's gonna pinch in the waist. For 5, down, last 4, down, and 3, down, stay off those cactuses. Last 2, give me 1 more. And then lower and lower the other leg down, well done. Let's press up, come around onto hands and knees again. We're setting up to go into a full plank, so you'll want to be near the front edge of your mat so you've got plenty of space to extend your legs behind you. Hands under the shoulders. Again, spreading the weight out comfortably through the palms of your hands. Think about trying to broaden your upper back so your shoulder blades just feel nice and flat against your rib cage. Tuck your toes in. Draw your abs in and check that you haven't arched your back. A little tuck of the tailbone to support your lower back. We're going to slide the right leg back. That leg is straight and strong. Your body stays exactly where it is. We've got that tray of orange juice on our back again. Try and hold it still as you glide the other leg back to join. Nice, upper body stays nice and strong. Nothing else moves, but we're going to untuck our right toes so that we've got space to just glide our right knee in underneath our right hip. And then step it back. Untuck left toes, glide it in. Without spilling a drop of orange juice, we go right leg, and back. Left leg, and back. 2 more, right leg, and back. Left leg, and back. 1 more time, right leg, and back. Left leg, and back. Then press the sitting bones up into a downward dog shape. Looking towards the feet, we're going to walk the hands backwards. You can bend the knees if you need to, but we're going to walk all the way back until we are standing on our feet and just hanging forward over our legs. Let your neck and arms relax. Breathe in. We'll softly bend the knees and start to roll our way up through the spine, drawing the abdominals in as you restack everything. And this is the first time we're standing in the whole class. And we're going to do a little bit of balancing. So you're going to bring the arms out in front, palms facing down, draw the abs in, lean slightly forward into your toes. So we just went a little bit forward and then we stay there. Place an imaginary wall against the back of your spine and then slowly lift the heels so that we rise up to the ceiling and slowly bring them back down just to tap the mat. Exhale, lift. Inhale, tap. Fighting for your balance the whole time. We go for 8. And down. Try to avoid leaning too far forward. Stay against that imaginary wall. Let's go for 6. And down. For 5. And slowly down. For 3. Try and really control the descent as you tap the mat. For 2. And down. Last time, lift and down. And then hover your heels just off the mat, like a tiny little millimeter hover. And we're gonna do little pulses up with those heels for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep all of the toes down for another 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, one more set for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, it's gonna burn, and then lower your heels down towards the floor. Well done, arms down. Head forward, you're gonna get a nice calf stretch now. We're gonna roll back down towards the mat. Bend the knees as much as you need to get flat hands onto the mat. Walk forward into a downward dog position, so you're in that little inverted V position. Hands shoulder width apart, eyes looking towards the feet, and let's pedal through the feet, pressing one heel into the mat and then the other. You can go in your own time. Give those calves a little stretch out. You can do one more each leg, each foot, getting a chance to press into the mat. Then rise back up high onto your toes. Straighten out your knees as much as you can. Pivot forward from your shoulders so you're looking at your hands, and then step your hands slightly further forward so that you're back in a plank. So back where we came from, good, broad shoulders. There should be just enough space for you to untuck your right toes, glide your right knee in underneath your hip. Step it back. Left one glides in. Step it back. Good, just moving from the knees and the hips. Everything else still. Have you spilled some orange juice yet? Let's go for 2 more. Each leg. And switch. Eyes staying just above the hands. Last one. Looking just above the hands, not actually physically above your hands. And then hold it there for me. Gently bend the knees down to the mat. And then do a slow push up or push down to bring your chest onto your mat. And then we'll stay here, okay? You can shuffle so that you're comfortably in the center of your mat. Legs about hip width apart behind you. And then spin your legs in towards each other, try to squeeze your heels together. So inner thighs are going to squeeze together. Heels are touching or almost touching depending on the shape of your legs. Sweep your arms back behind you in our low V that we had right at the beginning of the session. Nose hovering just off the mat. Draw those tummy muscles in. Pelvis tucked into the mat, lower back supported. Let your chest feel nice and light. As you inhale, float head, chest and arms just up off the floor. You don't have to lift high, keep the feeling of length running through your spine. Then turn the palms of your hands to face towards your thighs. So thumbs facing down, pinky fingers facing up. Keep your arms straight and try to squeeze them in to get your hands to touch your thighs or as close to your thighs as possible. If you don't quite make it to the thighs, that's okay. If you are on the thighs, squeeze into the thighs as much as you can. Then release the pressure through your arms, slightly lower your chest back down, but keep your arms in position because we're going to go again. Inhale, lift and squeeze the hands into the thighs. Exhale, lower. 4 more, keeping those elbows straight so that your triceps are burning and maybe shaking, and down. 3 more, you're straight as an arrow. Squeeze the arms in and down. Last 2, lift and squeeze. And down. 1 more time, lift and squeeze. And lower all the way down. Sweep the arms around in front of you, about shoulder width apart, palms facing down. Open your legs out again to hip width, just 2 parallel legs. Nose again hovering just off the mat. Even though you have your arms in front of you, can you draw your shoulders away from your ears? If you feel any discomfort in your neck and shoulders, take your arms a little bit wider. Otherwise, we keep it shoulder width apart. So we're going to swim, but we're swimming in a very narrow tunnel, okay? So at no point are we going wider than our mat. Draw the abdominal muscles in. Your head and chest can float slightly, but don't lift them too high. Then pull up through your kneecaps, activate your quads, and arms and legs at the same time are going to float just off the floor. Not lifting high, they're just hovering because this is your starting position. You don't want to be too ambitious to begin with, okay? Keep the neck straight and then lift your right leg and left arm a little bit higher than your starting position. And then switch left arm, right arm, left leg, and switch. Make sure it's always opposite arm to leg, going one side and the other. One and the other. I want you to breathe in for both sides. Exhale both sides. Breathing in, out, out. Breathing in, keep those knees straight, 3 more, in, out, out. 2 more, in, keep the shoulders out the ears. 1 more time, stay with me. We're still in that narrow tunnel. And then pause before relaxing down into your mat. Bring your hands in under your shoulders, directly under your shoulders, elbows pointing up towards the ceiling. Tuck your toes in behind you. You have the option of keeping your knees on the mat when you push up. Otherwise, if you want to join me, I'm going to do it with my knees lifted off the mat. So if you want the knees lifted, you want to straighten the knees actively so they're lifted. Whether you have your knees down or not, try and pull your pelvis just up off the mat. And now do not let your pelvis drop. We're not a worm, we're a plank. Draw the abdominals in without letting your pelvis touch the mat. Push straight down through the arms to come up. Yes. If you are on your knees, you can come up into a plank and join us in our plank. Press the sitting bones to the ceiling. Walk the hands backwards towards your feet. Once you're comfortably standing on your feet, hold it here. Let your knees softly bend. Let your right hand hold your left elbow, your left hand hold your right elbow. Pull down on those arms to stretch out the shoulders, and then just sway your whole body from side to side, like a little piece of seaweed in the ocean. And then we'll come back to find our center. As you release your arms, let them hang like ragdoll arms. Let your neck lengthen and your head feel heavy. Keep the knees slightly bent. Inhale. Exhale, start to slowly curl up through the spine, tucking the tail in as you unravel the spine over the pelvis, 1 vertebra at a time. Last thing to lift will be your head. We're standing tall and we're all done. Well done. Thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed it.